Hey everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. Thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Cody and I will be your host for the next hour. Here on Power Prompts, it is our goal to empower you to power through your art block. Every month we create a theme and every week we have a drawing prompt based around that theme. And this month, it is August 1st today. So this month our theme is Dogust. So we will be drawing a bunch of cute little doggos all month. And today's prompt is playing Frisbee. If you would like to participate and draw some doggos along with us all month, you can upload your work to Instagram with hashtag Adobe Live Power Prompts. And towards the end of the show, we're going to be looking at some of our wonderful community entries that people have already submitted. And happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back. Val says, Cody, this outfit and scrunchie is a look. Oh, thank you. Yeah, a little oversized scrunchie. Hey, Jack, Misha, Viola, welcome. Oswaldo. Oh, whoa. I'm sorry, you guys. Oswaldo, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give a little bit of a disclaimer for this stream. CJ, my husband CJ and I last week tested positive for COVID. And so I'm still getting over that, but I didn't want to miss the stream today, but I might be coughing a lot during the stream because I have been coughing all day today, but I am okay. So we are just going to hop on over to Fresco now. Thank you all so much for joining. And also, like I said, happy Monday. It is Power Prompts Monday. And so because of that disclaimer that I just gave you, I went ahead and did the sketch ahead of time because I wasn't sure if I would be able to successfully do dog anatomy on stream while sick. So we're going to be doing a coloring stream today, if that's all right. I picked out a color palette today, and I'm thinking about just like trying out some different textures and stuff. Feel better soon. Oh, thank you so much. Such a nice sketch. Thank you. I was really struggling, you guys, last night. I don't know if it's just me or what. You guys tell me if you can relate to this, but I struggle so much drawing animal muzzles, like especially dog muzzles for some reason. They just never turn out really well for me. So I ended up doing a side profile. And I feel like it turned out all right, but man, you wouldn't believe how many iterations I went through. I should have kept all of the bad iterations just so you guys could see how awful they looked. But yeah, this took me a long time for some reason. It was like the rest of it like went by really, really well, but the muzzle was just like so difficult. I don't know what it is. Get well soon. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Becca says it looks more realistic than I'm used to seeing Cody draw. I like it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I kind of decided to go for the more realism approach with the anatomy. I was like more so at first leaning towards doing this, and then when I was struggling too much with the muzzle, I was like, what if I just did a normal like character, like anthro character, like I typically draw. And I couldn't even draw that. It's probably because I'm sick, but yeah, I decided to stick with it. I wanted to stick with my guns and kind of try to challenge myself a little bit with this. And I think I'm gonna just do all normal, like kind of realistic dog anatomy for all of them for this month. I think it's a nice change of pace. I think it'll be fun. Okay, so yeah. Oh, by the way, you guys, so if you've never heard of Dogust, basically the original challenge, I believe, ran every single day for August. And typically it's a list of all different dog breeds every single day. So like one day you're drawing a Dalmatian and then a Golden Retriever. And so it's a different dog breed every single day. But instead, for my prompt list, I decided to just give you guys different actions, since for one we only do 4 streams. I didn't want to just like pick my favorite breeds and then like subject you guys to only my favorite breeds, you know? So I decided instead to just give you guys actions, so that way you can just choose whatever dog you want to draw for that action, whether it be all the same dog. Like I was thinking that you guys, like maybe you guys could draw like a series of your own dog. If you have a dog, that might be fun, or you can just pick your own favorite breeds, or it doesn't even have to be a specific breed. You can just do, you know, a cute cartoon dog. Clever says, adding to CDC list of symptoms, impairment when drawing of dogs. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's get into this, you guys. So I have this little rectangle behind him because I felt like giving him a little bit of a frame might be nice. Also, while we're at it, could you guys think of names for our golden retriever here? Could be a boy or girl, doesn't matter, boy, girl name. We can get rid of the frame. I was thinking about, just because I personally like having the square document size. It's just kind of what I naturally gravitate towards. Also, mostly because I post on Instagram, although I don't know if you guys heard, but Instagram is doing away with squares soon. They're gonna, like, everything's gonna be portraits, so my feed's gonna be all messed up. But anyway, I'm sticking to the squares for now. But I felt like since the illustration itself was a little bit, you know, horizontal, I still wanted to stick with a square. So I felt like adding this little bit of a frame background behind him looked a little bit better. Val said, wait, seriously? Yeah, last week on How To, or was it last week or the week before? I think it was Claudie on How To. She was showing screenshots of her friend's Instagram account, and it was one of the updates, and the feed was, everything was portrait, because from in the future, all the videos are going to be reels. So they're leaning more towards that, and they're getting rid of the squares. So everything's going to be portrait. So yeah, I'm thinking since the golden retriever itself, obviously it's going to be golden, maybe we might go with a more kind of complementary color for the background. Out of this color palette, I'd probably end up going with the teal, just because it's dark and it might make the golden pop. So I am just going to go ahead and we're going to grab, let's see, where is it? Where's my favorite? Oh, I'm already highlighted on it. Conte crayon. This is my favorite drawing crayon brush. This is one of Kyle Webster's brushes. If you guys have never heard of it before, I haven't used it for like the past couple of streams here. So if you're new to power prompts, I really love this this brush for coloring. And you can find this brush in Kyle Webster's Mega Pack. And if you guys have never downloaded Kyle's brushes, all you have to do is open up the brush menu in Fresco and then go down to the bottom and add brushes, and then discover new brushes, and you can download any of his packs into Fresco. Okay. So I'm going to grab this color palette here. Also, you guys, feel free. I'm going to leave this on the screen just for a second. If you want to experiment with this color palette, I actually just pulled it from one of my old artwork pieces. When I was learning color theory, when I had no idea how to work with color, the best way that I learned was actually pulling other people's color palettes from their artwork and putting it on my own artwork, and then like reworking it to be colors that I preferred. It kind of just like gave me a starting point until eventually I just intuitively learned how to see color. So feel free, if you guys want to just like screenshot this color palette and like bring it into Photoshop or Fresco and just like play around with it, like feel free, have fun. Okay. So I'm going to grab this teal color here. And let's see, yeah. So let's pull the opacity down on our sketch a little bit. Okay. Yeah, So let's just throw in this color. And the way that I really like to use this brush is I have a tendency to try to keep it relatively small, because if I don't keep it small, then you won't, if I don't keep it small, then I won't get this nice white texture throughout. So like if I make my brush really big and just color, you see how like the edges are nice and rough, but the inside loses all of that texture because the brush is so big. So personally, I try to keep the brush kind of small. And then I'm also just like very scribbly with it. I'm not like super intentional about where I'm coloring. But because I want to make sure that I get kind of like those natural white spots in between to keep that nice texture in there. It's almost like a Crayola crayon. And I'm also coloring around the sketch, if you notice. Like I'm not just coloring directly over the dog. I'm coloring around his legs here to also kind of give variation to the strokes. And it gives it a little bit more of a traditional look. Oops. I'm gonna make my eraser just a little smaller there. There we go. Rowan says, good sketch. Don't know the end, but only the sketch tells it by itself. It's going to be a great picture. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the combination of the color palette that we end up with. That's what's fun too, is like creating series of illustrations with the same color palette. Because like with a color palette this size, you could come up with all kinds of variations. And they could all turn out looking very differently. Like if we ended up instead deciding to do like a chocolate lab, we could do a yellow background instead, and maybe, I don't know, maybe like with a green Frisbee or something like that. And the whole thing would look completely different, but it would still be with the same color palette. By the way, speaking of dogs, are there any dog owners in the chat? And if so, what kind of doggo do you have? I also, when I was doing the sketch this morning, kind of very clearly didn't finish this part of the sketch. I just left it really rough. I think I don't really need to. And I'll probably, once I go in and color more, I'll probably add more fluff like here and stuff, because I didn't add it in the sketch yet. So I will go back and just add it when we add the color to the dog. You have 5 basset hounds, Cheryl? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. Oh, little couch potatoes. Barbara has a Maltese. Aw. Cute. Clever, 1 Corgi, a Great Pyrenees, and an Anatolian. Oh yeah, you have those guardian dogs, huh? Clever, for your chickens and stuff. That's awesome. Val says, I have 2 Chihuahuas named Noodle and Pee Wee Herman. I thought you only had 1 dog, Val. I don't know if I've ever seen the other one. Julie, hi. I have a corgi. Of course you have a corgi. I just love your profile picture. He's so cute. Dogust is a little bit bittersweet for me this year because we just had to put down our mini docks in Vienna just a few weeks ago. That's why I drew her on the Dogust list. If you guys can see that on my Instagram. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just continue to fill this in, just going around everything. Again, not super meticulous or anything. I'm literally just scribbling, just naturally. It just has a nice look when you're kind of just going around the sketch like this. And sometimes if I leave too much white, I'll go back and fill it in. But what I've noticed is that it's a lot easier to fill in the white rather than adding it back in, because then you have to erase and then recolor it. So I always err on the side of adding too much white. But yeah, if it's too busy, I'll just come in and color it out a little bit. Oh, I got some hot honey water right here for my throat. Lock your sketch layers. Thank you, Clever. Yes, that is a good point. I should lock my sketch layers. I never think about locking layers ever. It's something that just doesn't occur to me. I just drew this. I drew this on the sketch layer. No, it's okay. I drew it on the sketch layer. That's the frame outline, which isn't too bad. I can just go and erase that if it shows up too much, but you can't really see it very well. Misty says, I'm so sorry for your loss. Our furry family members are the hardest to lose. They're so much a part of our lives. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's very true. Okay, now I'm just gonna fill in this last little bit here pretty quickly. And on to our doggo. Okay. Cute. Then I think, actually, before I do the doggo, I'm going to make a new layer. And then I'm going to create a clipping mask by going to the icon below the eye, the little drop-down arrow. And so now on the layer panel, you can see that that new layer has a little drop-down arrow. So now I'm going to take this darker teal color, and I think I am going to just draw some little trees here in the background, maybe just to kind of indicate a little bit of an environment, you know, something like that. really simple tree shapes. I also am going to turn on smoothing a little bit more because my hands are kind of shaky. Something like that, little trees. And maybe we'll do like another one here. And here. I'm just kind of going with my gut here. We might move them. That's why I did it on a separate layer in case I decide to move it, or decide that I want to move it. That's what clipping masks are really great for, because you can independently move it around, right? So you're not forced into keeping it in the same spot. And because I added the trees, I think I will, in fact, go in with the lighter teal color and kind of fill in that texture just a little bit more. Because right now it looks a little bit busy. It's kind of hard to see. It looks like static almost. Don't need as much of that texture. Becca, it's so relaxing to watch Codi work. Oh, thank you so much. Val says, I love the environment contained within the shape. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think I might do all of the Dogust ones like this, like with a framed environment like this, maybe with like a little bit of an overhang like this. It'll be like a little series almost. Lisa says, I love these soft neutral colors. How do you come up with your palettes? Well, really, it's just all of my favorite colors. So this palette is actually come from this palette here on the color panel. This is all of the colors that I use in my artwork. Sometimes I veer from this a little bit, like I'll edit the hue slightly and stuff, but these are the colors that I pretty much only work with. So all of these colors that's on the canvas right now are in this palette. I actually stole this color palette, this color combination specifically. If I go back, oh, it's not on here. I had a piece of artwork. I wonder if I have the file on here, I think. Oh yeah, I took a screenshot of it. This color palette was from this artwork that I did a little while ago. I think it was last year when I was doing the Draw This in Your Style show. I did this illustration. And that's where I came up with this combination of colors from my palette, and I just love it. It's one of my favorites actually, because I don't normally do cool tone colors for fall, and this was the first time that I had added like this like minty color in, and I just really liked it, so I kind of stuck with it. But personally, the way that I come up with my palettes is that I just kind of really lean into the colors that really speak to me. And that can be really difficult because, you know, like I feel like with social media, you know, you can be influenced one way or the other really easily, and see some person's artwork and say, oh, I wish my colors looked like that. And then you'll try to start using those colors and they just don't work for you, or at least that's what I've experienced in the past, where I'm like, oh, that looks really nice, I should start using those colors. And then I try, and then it just frustrates me even more because it just doesn't work. And then I always just end up leaning back to the colors that I just am naturally gravitated towards, which are deep, rich earth tones. Always have been my whole life, with a little bit of a spattering of, you know, like kind of light pinks too. I like gray rose colors, and then also obviously this kind of like mint sagey color kind of gets put in there as well. But I really just have always loved earth tones. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I really love to garden. I mean, look at my shirt. You know, I mean, if I took a picture of my closet, so guys, all of my clothes are in color order in my closet. It looks like my artwork. All of the colors in my clothing are in my artwork, including this sage color here. I have a t-shirt of this light sage color. It's just the colors that I'm naturally gravitated towards. CJ says, I love when she does cool colors because dark teal is my favorite. That's actually part of the reason why I added dark teal to my palette originally, because dark teal is CJ's favorite color. Val, Cody, can you talk a little bit about your journey choosing colors for your brand and how you brand your Instagram? Oh, you know what, when that really started was, I guess it's been 2 years ago now, when I originally did my Drawtober list. And I kind of really leaned into the fall colors on that one. And if you scroll down on my Instagram, you can really like see when it starts. It's got like a gray blue and then a bunch of like just pure fall colors. That was like one of my favorite sections on my Instagram, and I'm probably gonna start coloring in those colors again here soon because it's just about fall. But I just like, I really, really loved the look of like a put together Instagram feed. Like, and I feel like I actually enjoy it. I enjoy having a really nice looking feed. And so I just started using all of the same colors for a minimal palette. And then I started putting all of those, like collecting all of those colors into what this palette that you see here. So I could start like creating new combinations of those colors, but also at the same time keeping a cohesive looking portfolio, and kind of almost making it look like my artwork all comes from the same world, even though it doesn't necessarily, but it all looks like it could. And so that's just, it's kind of intentional. It didn't start out that way, but now it is. And I really enjoy just being able to scroll my feed and just see how all of my artwork looks really cohesive. And same with my portfolio too. If you go on my portfolio, codibear.myportfolio.com, that's my portfolio website, and you can see the cohesiveness on there too. I haven't updated that in a while, so you can probably get a good sense of the fall colors there too. I also just really love fall. That's probably another one that, again, like I love oranges and yet like nice goldens and browns. Misha says, I'm making a doggo right now. Yay! Dennis says, I can't afford to only choose a few colors like that. There are too many good ones to limit myself. I completely understand. Okay, enough talking, right? Okay, let's make a new layer. And I'm gonna lower the opacity of this just real quick, just so I can see this, make sure I can see the sketch fine underneath. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab this golden color here. I just realized, I think this color it's in the palette twice, yeah. So this guy right here, I think will be the main golden color. And then like this color here will probably be like the belly, like these two colors will probably be like the under fur belly color. But let's go ahead and just throw in this, this solid color here just for a base. And I'm gonna leave out the back leg, this back leg for now, because I might do it in a different color just to kind of give a little bit of depth. And I'll show you guys how I would do that. Actually, while we're at it, this is the perfect time to start adding in some more fluff. Just a little bit here. I had a lot of fun drawing this tail too, because they have they have such fluffy tails, but I was trying to figure out like the best way to approach that, but in like a kind of a minimal way, because I didn't want to just like draw like all of the strands of hair and stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this shape here and then go back and kind of just like draw in some slits, or erase in some slits rather, to kind of indicate the hair falling. And he's also got a little fluffy butt. Alessandra, I love your work, Cody. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with me. Also, you guys, if you're using the iPad, something I just realized I was doing is I have a tendency to like zoom really far in on the iPad, and then I end up like exhausting myself because I'm making really big strokes. All you have to do is just zoom back out, and and you'll end up making much tinier little strokes, and it's so much better for your hand. Okay, I'm gonna go back and erase this little bit here. There. And because we have, I decided to give him a little sweater. So we have this sweater here. So this elastic right here would be putting a little bit of pressure on the fur, right? So his fur is probably most likely going to kind of push up like this on the sweater. So we're going to have a little bit of fluff there. And we can do just a few little like stray hairs like that. And again, I'm going to not color in this back paw here yet. We're going to leave that blank. And Goldens also tend to have kind of like forearm hair, like really long forearm hair. So since the momentum is going this way, the fur is going to go that way because the wind is blowing towards the dog. So the arm hair is going to go this way. Oh, excuse me. Dennis says, I find the iPad hard to draw with, even though that was what I bought it for. Screenless tablet with Photoshop Corel Painter is much more natural for me. I applaud you for being able to use the iPad. It honestly, a couple of years ago, I would have said the same thing. I've only had ever used the iPad, the Wacom Intuos Pro with Photoshop before. And after I got the iPad, I was a little bit concerned that I wasn't going to be able to really like learn it enough to feel comfortable with it, like enough to actually use it regularly and actually be gravitated to naturally want to use it. But eventually nowadays, like I honestly feel like I use my iPad more than I hop on Photoshop, just because it's a lot easier for me personally. Like when I'm sitting on the couch and I just want to sketch, or I have an idea for my book or something, and I just want to jot something down, I just can reach over and grab my iPad and just sketch something really quick. And then from the iPad, it's just already in Photoshop if I ever did want to work on it at my desk. You know what? I'm actually going to leave the back ear undone first. And because I might end up doing it that different color, just like the back limbs as well. Yeah, I have the medium as well. I can't get the hang of the Wacom tablet, and that's what a lot of people say that as well. That they had to get an iPad or a Cintiq because they just could not grasp the idea of drawing without a screen. When I felt like that was like my bread and butter, was drawing without a screen. Weirdly enough, I felt like just because I was so used to drawing that way that I drew better that way. Now I feel like I can just do either way. So if you guys notice, I did a little bit of an outline here. I left a little bit of a gap between the head and the ear. And that's just simply, here, let me turn off the sketch. That is just simply so we can have just a little bit of a differentiation, because the ear and the head is going to be the same color. So I could either leave the gap, or I could come in with a darker color and do an outline, which I could decide to do that in the future too. I might actually do that instead. I might fill this in fully, and maybe I'll just come in with a darker color of the dog's fur and just kind of do a little bit of an outline. I think that'll actually look better. But that gives you guys just like an idea of an option that you can do. I just realized I filled in the dog's head on the background layer. It's fine. It's fine. We won't, it's fine. We don't need it. No big deal. And sometimes I like to just kind of like add in like little extra little bits and bobs here and there, just to kind of add a little bit of texture. And it kind of gives a little bit of an indication of like, oh, he's got his fur going every which way, kind of like that. So let's go back to the tail. I'm going to lower the opacity here, and I am going to, I think, if I remember right, you can hold down the touch modifier, and yes, you can erase with your brush. If you just tap on this little circle guy here, the touch modifier, just tap it, and you can erase with the current brush that you have. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna touch and hold the touch modifier, and I'm gonna come in here and add some little slits to the fur. I'm gonna make my brush a little bit smaller. There. Now, hopefully when we turn up the opacity, everything still looks good. Have you guys ever done that before where you're like, oh yeah, that looks great. And then you turn up the opacity of all your layers and you're like, gotta redo it. Okay. So let's see. So I need to go back to the trees here, and we're gonna fill in just this little bit. Why? Let's see. Oh, that's why, because the background color does not fill in there. There we go. Misha says, nice drawing so far. Thanks so much. Okay, so let's pull up these trees again. It's looking nice. I think I'm liking that. Okay, let's see. What color? Oh, first, I was about to do the jacket, but first let's do the back legs instead. So just to kind of make it feel more like the dog is in the environment, we are going to be adding a little bit of the background color to the back leg color. So it kind of feels like, even though the dog is coming out of the frame, that the dog still could be in that environment. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dog's back leg color, and I'm going to actually make it just slightly darker and more saturated. And let's see what that color looks like first. Oh, we have enough contrast. That looks good. Okay. So I'm going to put that color down here. And then I'm going to grab the background color. And I am going to bring the color wheel down because the opacity of your brush is in the color wheel panel right here. So you can turn down the opacity, and we're just going to draw right over that, that dog fur color. So we're basically like mixing paint. But I don't think I'm going to add that much. So I'm going to lower the opacity a little bit more. So now I'm going to take that color. It's kind of like a muddy green color. And I'm going to make a new layer underneath the dog fur layer, the main one. And I'm going to make sure I turn my brush opacity all the way back up. And I might need to alter this color just a little bit because it looks like by adding the green, we need a little bit more contrast. So I think I might actually add a little bit less of the green color. And I can show you guys why I think that. So in terms of figuring out if you have enough contrast, you want to be able to check your values. So if you don't know how to check your values, what you want to do is make a new layer over top of everything, and then take your paint bucket tool and fill it with black. Fill pixel. And then you're going to go to the layer blending modes, and you're going to go down, 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 down to color. So now you can see, oh, okay, so yeah, we actually do have enough contrast. So you can see all of your work in black and white. And so you can just keep that layer up there at the top, and you can turn it on and off as you need it. Just make it visible and invisible. So you can see whether you have enough contrast. And so as long as you can see all of your individual shapes in black and white, you have enough contrast. But like if you have two similar colors, you won't be able to like really differentiate the outline of each shape. And that's when you know that you should change one of your colors so you can see the difference between the two. Does she realize the head is painted on the background layer? Yeah, I realized it afterwards, but it's fine. It's really not that big of a deal because we're not going to be editing it too much. Okay. So I think I like that. I might actually, you know what? I might actually hue shift this just a little bit. Just a tiny bit, maybe. Nope, the other way. Yeah, like that. That looks a little better. Okay, unlock that transparency. Then we're gonna go in and again, we're gonna add in his little ankle fur. Oh, and then the ear really quick. And then I just realized, you guys, we only have 10 minutes left. I kind of lost track of time here. So I just wanted to throw in a Frisbee color, let's say like a Frisbee color like this, maybe. And maybe we'll do the sage color for the jacket. And I'm thinking, obviously, I'm throwing this in because we're running out of time, but I'm thinking about doing it like this, where it's kind of like blocked out color. And then also giving him a hood. And then we would also have to take this light color, and again, we would have to darken it to put it on this arm back here. And then we got to add in his little face. There we go. We almost did it, you guys. Now he looks really derpy. All right, if we have just like we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to hop on over to Instagram to be able to look at your guys' awesome entries. 1 second, let me pull it up really quick. Let's just go back to Fresco 1 second. While I pull it up, let's see. Where did the folder go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So we had some really cute entries, just like a few different ones. This one, it looks almost like a little Jack Russell. I loved the texture on this one. Don't leave. I know. I'm so sorry, you guys. Power prompts is only 1 hour. But yes, I love the watercolor texture on this one, and also the line work and it almost looks like they used like a digital micron pen, digital inking. It looks really nice, and the shape for the Frisbee is really nice. It reads really well too. And there's a little butterfly also. It's so adorable. Leah Clark, your work is really lovely. Thank you so much for your entry. And I love his little collar too. Really nice. And the anatomy is like spot on. Really good. Dog anatomy is not easy, especially when you're doing a pose in motion. So good on you for challenging yourself to do a moving pose. Really, really nice job. This one was really cute too. This artist does a lot of comics. She's done a lot of entries for power prompts and also for Draw This in Your Style, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right. So if you guys like their comics, go check them out. Very, very cute. Thank you so much. And I love the little witch outfit. Very nice. This one was another great one. Another really good pose in motion. And really minimal, which is really beautiful. Really unique color palette, like very, very bold and daring. I like the use of the yellow and the blue, nice complementary colors. And also they added a very round shape as well. You can see like the clouds are all rounded and the ground is rounded to kind of give that feeling of motion, or almost like a fisheye effect. Really, really nice. I just love the derpy like front arms. It's very cute. And then this is the last one. This one made me laugh this morning. It's like a little rocket. So adorable. And again, I love the minimal color palette that's like very monochromatic. Reverb Mike says happy blue. Yes, it's so cute. It has so much character to it, you know. It's so simple. It's so simple. Look at the simple shapes. The legs are just like pins, and like it is just so funny. Voodoo Val, I love him. I know, right? I cracked up when I saw him this morning. Zoom in, exactly. He's zooming. Sarah, thank you so much for your entry. You got a good laugh out of me this morning. All right. So the mouth is killing me. I know, right? He's just like, like a little alligator. All right, you guys, that is it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Next week, we will be drawing more doggos, and the week after that, we will be drawing more doggos. So don't forget to come back every Monday at 2 p.m. CST, 12 p.m. PT. And I will see you guys next Monday with a different doggo. I hope you all enjoy. Design to the Rescue is up next. Thank you all. See you later. Bye.